Hello my friends and welcome back to Player Display, and welcome back to my crafting bench. This is, for those of you who don't know, the main area where all my customs come to life, and a whole other set of other projects that aren't even mentionable on this channel, but are just really cool things. I love making things, and custom figures is one of them. So here we have the Harbinger zombie from Sideshow Collectibles from the Deadline, who is now a part of my slowly blossoming zombie shelf, which I have right over there, and you see there's a few spaces in there. One of those spaces is for the Harbinger zombie, who is one of my favorites. Now, I thought he was a really great figure, but I wanted him to have some more company. So I actually got the necessary parts to give him a friend. So over here we have a work in progress non-zombie. I don't know if I'm the first person to think of this, but I just had to make this happen. So I got the outfit. I got the base body off of eBay. I'll put links in the description. And just today, I got the third-party head sculpt from overseas that I plopped onto there. And let's get a closer look at that. Zoom on up. Have a look at that ugly mug. Isn't that great? Actually, in the original product shots, it was not nearly as gruesome as this one. It had less blood, actually. But I'm not even disappointed. I'm like, hell, I'm going to work with this. So what is this going to involve? Let's pop back out over here. I'm going to have to do a lot of repainting. Actually, not as much as you'd think, because all I really have here are the bare hands, the bare feet, right there, and then the outfit. So I'm going to gum up the outfit, add some blood, add some dirt, all that good stuff. Then I'm also going to paint up the hands and the feet so it matches the head. And I also have some other accessories here. Firstly, she came with some alternate hands over here. I don't really think any of these would make sense with her, especially fists. She does have fists in there, right? Yeah, there we are. I might give her a grip, because maybe she could be holding a wooden stake or something like that. So I'm still going to paint these up just on the off chance I come up with an idea for something for her to hold. And I also have some spools of chain. I've had these for years, but they've served me for so many different projects. But here they are. I got these at, I believe it was it Marshall's or Michael's? One sells clothing, one sells crafting stuff. One of those. Will tell me around here? It does not. But actually, here's what they're called. Right over here. Bead Landing, that's right. So if you want to get some chains of your own, there you go. There's a gauge and everything. But they're really great chains. You can unlink them with the help of some pliers, or with the bigger ones with your bare fingers. And what I'll probably do is maybe put some chains on her wrists to do a little bit of storytelling. My thought is maybe that she is almost a patient zero, and that was in a church or something like that. They didn't know what to do with her, so they were trying exorcisms and all of that. So as a last resort, when the outbreak began, they chained her to a wall. That's why they were just chains. And then she became strong enough to break out. So I'm trying to think of a cool name to give her, because of course we have her buddy, the Harbinger, over here, right? But he's not called the Priest Zombie. So I'm thinking I might call her the Banshee or something like that, because she's got that screaming head going on. So I'm going to have to put some thought into that. But that being said, this is going to be a very fun project. I don't know if I'll finish today or tomorrow. I really don't know. I'll be starting today at the very least. And the next time you see me, this figure will be completed. So stay tuned for 3, 2, 1... Alright, here's the latest entry to my zombie army, the Banshee, and I think she looks really fantastic. If any of you are familiar with my Podplays channel, that's my Let's Play channel, which is in the description below. I love zombie video games, and one of them is Zombie U. This figure, or at least the head sculpt and kind of the image I have going on with this character, it's inspired by the nurse zombie from Zombie U, which I did an extensive playthrough of if you want to check that out, but basically, that was the one fast zombie in that game. So in my zombie horde, this is why I envision as the fast variant. It's just a single nun in a church, or at least in the bowels of a church, and she's like a mini boss, you know, for whatever survivors are in this apocalypse. I also did the chains, as you can see on the wrist, which look really great. And yeah, it was largely just repainting, but it was really fun to do. So let's go from head to toe and check her out. So firstly, here is the really nasty, ghastly, over-the-top head sculpt, which I really like. Again, as I mentioned before, the colors vary from the products I thought I would be getting. I mean, if you're getting something from China, you never know. But I was able to work with it, and I just made her more bloody than I expected to. Actually kind of saved my butt. That meant I didn't have to do a realistic skin tone or anything. I just had to cover everything in red. And then I also did a little bit of brown and black in there to cause some variance and everything. I also like to envision this zombie as a spitting type, so that's why she's got a lot more blood down here on this vest portion. I don't know, like, what each article of clothing on a nun's outfit is supposed to be, but yeah, this came together really cool. Unfortunately, I can't show you everything of how this headdress attaches to this head sculpt, because I've glued certain parts of it down so that way it stays down. Like, this vest was kind of flaring up, so I tacked that down here and here with some glue. I was glued it around on the back and everything, but it was a really interesting system. There was some Velcro to pin together the white portion, and also a little metal clip at the bottom, at the neck portion of the vest in the back over here. So everything just hinged together. And again, I just wanted everything to lie down a little more naturally, so I used a touch of glue. If things look a little dusty, that's actually a happy accident. I did not intend that. I used no gray paint whatsoever on this. I hit the main flesh parts that I've painted up with dull coat, and when it hit the cloth, it kind of created this dusty residue, and it wound up just improving the overall look of the figure, so I'm really happy about that. As you can see, the headdress is a little bit floppy, so you gotta style it a little bit so it goes more down the head, and I think it looks a lot better. Down to the torso, we also have this really nice belt with a metal clasp in there. Very good. I just have it kind of tucked away off to the side. It goes straight down, so I really do like that. I also did some asymmetrical blood splatter on the chest, so it looks like she was vomiting more in this direction, or maybe she's just leaking blood from the mouth. I don't know. I just want this to be the most disgusting zombie that I possess. Down here at the hands are actually not plugged on all the way because I couldn't find links, chain links in my collection that were totally circular, so I just had to go with the stock ones I had on this chain that I had on the roll that I showed you before. So I'm just using those, and the hands are plugged in just enough that they stay on, which is totally okay. As for the chain itself, I also did a little bit of a dry brush with some black and brown to make it look a little more aged, not too chromy or anything. I probably could go a little further if I wanted to. Didn't need to spray it or anything. I mean, if something is meant to look weathered and old, then I don't think you need to spray it with any dull coat or gloss coat, because if it gets weathered in the future, then it's just going to add to the overall aesthetic, so that's totally fine. Then towards the bottom, I did less blood, and then I did more dirt. It's very subtle, but helps to break up the black. There's some brown in there. Also, a little bit of additional black paint, I think, too, just to break it up. Maybe a touch of red as well, which is a little hard to see at this point. Then down at the feet, I'm not too sure what I was doing here, but I like what I did. It's a combination of brown and red, so a little mixture of dirt and then blood. I guess part of what I was thinking about this zombie is maybe it's very inflamed, like this nun got a really bad strain of the infection, so everything is not just bloody, but her flesh is turning red. So you see it down here on the feet as well. So that makes a little bit more canonical sense when you're thinking about what the virus does to a person. And also, if you pull up the sleeves a little bit, you notice I continued the red a little bit more. So that way when you have her arms up for whatever reason, if the sleeve came down, though I don't think it will, then you'll see more of the red instead of it just suddenly being the bare flat plastic, so we don't have that anymore. I also did the same thing down here on the legs, so you see it continues up. And as for the base color, you see it right here on the knee. So the rest of this base body was that color, and a little bit of a gloss, but the paint took that down a bit. But once again, I did dull coat, so there is no gloss on the flesh parts of this figure, except on the eyes, which I didn't spray at all. I didn't spray the head sculpt at all in the process. I removed that first. So that came out really good. And that is pretty much it for this figure. Not a whole lot else to show you. I mean, I got a third-party generic figure stand off Amazon. These are really easy to find. If you want any, you can get them in bulk, but I just needed one for the zombie over here. I guess the last thing to do is drop her on the shelf and see how the zombie display is looking. Here is the Banshee zombie with the rest of her friends. Really nice to finally have a female zombie, because those are not as common in mainstream manufacturers. So if you want something done well, do it yourself. Now we got a female zombie to join these other four. The last one I am expecting, which again is on pre-order and is the whole reason why I started this shelf at all, is the Asmus Toys Chloe zombie figure, which is a child zombie, so that's going to be really cool. I almost forgot to mention I also painted up all the hands as well, although I'm not totally sure what to do with them, because really just the idle hands are just enough for her, and I think they look really good right there. Just kind of just hanging there, she's lurking around, being all creepy in the catacombs or something like that. So I really dig her. She's really cool. Looks very good next to the Harbinger over there, and she helps to fill in a gap on the shelf. And of course, there's still room for more. I always find a way. So that's pretty much it for this little showcase. This was a really quick project to do. Actually, it was faster to make the actual character than it was to get all the materials. I got the outfit and the body like around New Year's, but I had to wait about a month for the head, so that did take some time. But as soon as I got it, whipped her up straight away, and she looks awesome. So that's all I got. So if you enjoyed this little showcase, then please, as per usual, be sure to
Like, comment,
ring the bell to be notified of our latest arrivals, and subscribe.
yeah, hi, Mechabug here. If you want to see more from Pod Guy, then please be sure to check out the Pod Plays channel down in the description for some Let's Plays. And if you want to support the channel a bit too, you also got the Pod Patreon, which is down in the description as well. See you around, folks!
Thank you guys very much for watching. Rock on, and I will see you all later.